Saturday since I was legit. Represent, that's legit. Ask your mom about it. Coldest story ever told. When the storm had hit my home, I was out there on the road, I ain't had nowhere to go. They used to turn their nose at me, and they done, I suppose this the life I chose. Every day, man, it's a show.
Hey, you guys, welcome to Authentic Ears. We are on a pre-recorded line. You know what I'm saying? We got Cam here, Jazz here. You know, we're going to get into it today. How was y'all week? How was y'all day? It is early where we at, but we're going to just go on and get to it. Jazz, how was your week?
Overwhelming.
What happened?
Gonna be honest, this Authentic Ears, right? My week was overwhelming. It was very overwhelming. It felt like I ain't had no good sleep. I don't know. Maybe because I got back on the internet.
Because you had been doing your fast for like 30 days, right?
And then when I got back on the internet, I don't know. I guess getting back on there and seeing all the crazy stuff happening and my job, going through different transitions. I was just overwhelmed this week. So this weekend, I'm going to go hang out with friends and then I'm going to rest the rest of the weekend.
So let me ask you this. So you did your fast and stuff for like, you did it for 30 days. You know what I'm saying? You were not on social media. You normally post a lot of inspirational quotes and stuff on IG. Y'all, if y'all don't have Jazz IG, it's in the link. So follow her on IG. Yep. So do you think, but also while you're doing that, of course you see things that scroll across your screen. So they got them algorithms going on. Do you think that social media is a distraction since, hey, I've been off social media and I've been kind of like coasting, but then damn, here come the wave.
I wouldn't say it's a distraction. But it kind of, for me after my fast, this might sound weird, but it just reminded me like, some of this stuff just isn't real.
Yeah.
And you can get caught up in the hype of it.
Yeah.
The first thing I seen when I logged on was the Takeoff incident. Yeah. And I was like, dang, that's sad, and then here go another man bashing a woman. Here go a woman bashing a man. So it's just like, okay, I'm gonna just limit myself. So I did go and I'm not on there as much.
Yeah.
But I do find that like as when you're bored, you just pick up your phone type of thing and just
most definitely.
So I think it's not a distraction, but it should teach you discipline.
Yeah. Cam, how was your weekend? How was your day? Your night?
It's kind of like Jazz. As I had a really long week at work. It's the of course, like I said, I'm a sales manager, so anything, and it's end of the year. So, the goal is to try to get as many sales in as you can at the end of the year. So it's a lot of early morning, late evenings, and, just, tending to customer needs, to just make sure that I can bring in as much revenue for the company as possible. And then, I just, had a little get together, yesterday, had some friends over and stuff, and it really turned out to be a really, really good day. And then it kind of went left after that. So due to that, I didn't really sleep. And Jazz, I'll tell you, I'll get you spun up on that, later. But like I said, I didn't get to bed tonight, but I'm still, I owe it to my audience to be on my game as normal. So even though I didn't get the rest, I'm still gonna come through like lace front glue. You know what I'm saying?
Why you gotta bring the lace front glue? Hold on, I got this hat on because I ain't got no lace front, no swoop. I got to get my hair done before I take off and go on my trip. Y'all follow me if y'all want to see my fly pictures because I really ain't been hitting the gym that much like I wanted to get prepared. But since I'm fit and fine already, I don't think I too much needed. But I should have hit the gym just a little bit more to get a little bit more toned up. But I'm most definitely going to get back into working out. Hey, we have a special guest that is gonna pop in, and he's gonna be, coming to us from. I don't know where he at this week because this guy travels so much. My homeboy, my brother, you know what I'm saying? We chop it up all the time. And we're gonna go ahead on and introduce him, Joe Davis. Y'all don't get confused. Y'all might hear me calling him Socrates. It's a reason behind it, but that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? We've been rocking for a while, just somebody that brings a lot of inspiration. And then for me, I have 3 sisters, and then I have 3 more sisters that are not my sisters, but they're my sister. They're not my blood sisters, but they're my sister. But I mostly always kind of rock with guys and stuff. So I get a lot of I be trying to figure out what's going on because I be needing these men to put me up on game. So, you got guys like Joe, you got guys like Sterling, Cam, I like men like that because they're going to keep it 100% real. Because if my lace front coming up, Cam going to go on and say something about it real fast.
And I'm gonna get on you about that fake baby hair too. So don't just talk about that lace front.
For real. But hey, let's bring Joe Davis to the screen and let him introduce himself. What's up, brother? Socrates, how you doing? Why is Jasmine laughing?
Because Socrates something else.
Listen, hey,
Socrates is something else.
What up, family? What up, family? Hey, as y'all know, like my sister said, I'm Joe Davis. Hey, Mr. JD himself in person. Cam, my boy, it's good to see you, Jazz.
Yeah, good to see you, brother.
A pleasure.
Yes.
Man, we already just know this is gonna be it's gonna be a mess. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I ain't wanting too much spill the beans, and we always gotta ask our male guests because you know what I'm saying. Our last female guest, shout out to my girl Shan. She will be back on here. We trying to get her book, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm basic, babe. You know me, sis. I'm basic. I'm Joe Davis from Mississippi. Born and raised, baby. Hey, 21 years in the military, retired vet. Been around the world. I love to travel. My job keep me busy. I work for the VA. So, it's slow motion over here. And I love my kids. You know what I'm saying? If you need me, you want to know about me. If you don't know about me, you don't know about my kids. So at the end of the day,
yeah, most definitely.
You know
hey, them babies be keeping you busy because where are you at right now? You're not in Mississippi today, are you?
No, not in Mississippi today. Coming from the pleasure of Augusta, Georgia. My son got a soccer tournament. I'm gonna put up some pictures on my Instagram, my IG. If you follow me, you will see him. He called himself the GOAT, and I gotta give it to him. He is the GOAT.
Yeah, both of them.
Little JoJo just came back from Spain. I'm honored to be
I heard he's doing good things over there.
Yeah, he just got
or something.
His soccer team sent him to Spain. He's getting ready to go back in the spring. So I'm always out here hustling for these kids. Always.
Yeah,
that's good, man. That we get more melanated people in sports, i.e., like the soccers, and also wish we could get more. Of our sisters and males in the tennis and the hockeys and the lacrosses and things of that nature, because we just have to, I feel that we have to continuously let people know that we're Black men and Black women and we can do anything.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're well-rounded. We are very athletic, so just most definitely. And then I'm also, I always got to highlight this, and I'm going to highlight this because I love my Black brothers. I love my Black men. Like these 2 guys right here, I've been knowing Joe longer than I've been knowing Cam, but just Black men that are there for their children. You know what I'm saying? And then Black men that are there for other children, other people's children, because we was in El Paso together, me and Socrates and my ex-husband. They're actually good friends, but most definitely shout out to him. He's been a great role model for my son, and still is a role model. But if he wasn't available, he wasn't there, and King needed a shout out or something, or we got some football games going, we got some track meets going, I can most definitely say that the brothers that I met out in El Paso, we was at each other's set. So, thank you, Cam, thank you, Joseph, and all the other guys out here that are actually stepping up and actually being that actual father that we don't see too much. in the Black communities anymore. You know, it's kind of like, hey, where are they? Where are they at? So it's really kind of like a crazy. It's not even a crazy question, Joseph. I know that you grew up with your father. So do you think that your dad instilled that in you to, hey, you need to be the man, you need to be there for your children, no matter what, no matter where you at in the world, make it happen?
Yes. Hey, my father told me a long time ago, you made them kids, when you move, they move.
Yeah.
And if you step in a relationship or any situation with a woman with kids, you need to be the man. You need to be the disciplinary person in their life. And as you move on in life and you have kids that you done been around and you help with, you got to reach back sometime to make sure they still on that right path. So yes, being around my father, that was my hero. I tell any man, any woman, to know me is to know my father. To know my father, you got to know me.
Yeah. So Jazz, you brought up something, Socrates, about, you know, when you've been in a relationship with someone, or you was kind of saying, hey, and you've been around those kids. I know for women, for me, it's hard for us to get in relationships because, especially when you are a single parent, because you have to introduce your kids to this new person in your life. So Jazz, do you think that puts a damper or makes you shy away from just really going out there and finding somebody? Because of course, I have a son, you know, and I have a daughter that's 22, but I don't want my son to be like, my mama looked out now. I just seen Reggie over here. Now here come Bob. You know what I'm saying? Because in reality, you know, because they'll get to the school, he go to a historical school now, but it's kind of hood over there. But them kids, they crucial. They'll talk about you. So Jazz, do you think, you know, getting into a relationship with children and, you know, being with your husband your ex-husband for so many years, that's who the kids are used to? They're not used to seeing men running in and out and different men. So do you think that it's hard for you to get into a relationship?
Yes.
Or whatnot?
it plays a major role because you know, you don't want just anybody coming up in here. You know, I've been divorced, separated 3, divorced going on 2, and my kids have never met another guy. These past 3 years, they've never met another guy. Now they do know that I do date. They notice that I am on the phone with a man, but they have never met another guy.
I seen a wall from over here.
I'm just not big on bringing. I don't think any woman should do that. You know, kids are very sensitive. They have an innocence about them. We can't be exposing our kids to certain things. And so I'm just very cautious when it comes to that. You can barely even know where I live at. So
Jazz, to piggyback off that, I really makes sense. You know, that really makes sense. But you know what? We as men, we shouldn't even put y'all women in that predicament to make y'all even think that I can't bring him around my kids. We should know better to know, hey, if there's ways that I can get to know this woman without pulling up at her house, trying to see where she lives, because I'm an understanding that if I do what I'm supposed to do as a man, I don't have to worry about getting to come to your house, getting to meeting your kids. And a lot of, you know, you have dudes that's out there and then, you know, they only got one intention, you know what they're about, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a firm believer that if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing as a man, everything else would work itself out. That's what I learned at my maturity level. So I champion women to be like, hey, this guy can only be fake for so long. If women would be more patient and not be so consumed in what they want and say, you know what, I'm gonna wait this out to see this guy's true attention. It's gonna come out, but a lot of you won't be patient to take that time. So Jazz, that's commendable on you, you know, to not be bringing men around your kids and stuff, because they didn't ask to be here, you know what I'm saying? And they shouldn't have to be exposed to like unnecessarily things that's out of what they have no control over. You see what I'm saying? Or it wasn't something that they did. You see what I'm saying? So I commend you on that. But I feel and I'm gonna end by saying this: men, we shouldn't even put y'all in them predicaments.
What's up, Cam? I like that. That's what's
Yeah.
up. Hey, that's what's up. Hey,
I came close, but a person can only be fake for so long.
Representative.
After that mask come off, I'm like, oh, okay, that's why it didn't go down the way I originally wanted it to. But yeah, I done came close. But yeah,
we're gonna talk about patience. But Joe, you was gonna say something.
I would say, with Cam and Jazz talk about, hey, I salute it. But let's reverse that role. Let's talk about these single fathers that's out here. How do you feel when they bring a woman around their kids, or they got to introduce their kids to a woman? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody got a motive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There are single fathers out here that are actively involved in their kids' life. Their kids are there, 98% of the time, if not 100% of the time. And women, I would say I have dated and been in a relationship with 2 guys that were single. Well, I ain't gonna even say single fathers. They were fathers because their kids stayed with the child's mother. And it's a responsibility that you take on when those kids come around, that they are integrated into the family. And depending on the mother of the child, it causes, I know for women that I have talked to, it causes a headache because the other woman don't want you around their kids. That is the weirdest shit I done ever seen. If you're treating my kids right, you not abusing, you treat my kids the way you treat your kids, and hopefully that is good. Oh, you want them to come spend the night? Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, sis. They going somewhere for the weekend with you? No problem. Thank you very much. But I think for as Black women, we get so intimidated. And when I say we, I'm saying we, so I won't point or single anyone out, that I can't believe he over there with her now. Oh my goodness, why he with her? And then they cause problems in that relationship with that man and his new woman. And that's the relationship dissolves, after that, because number one, I'm not gonna be disrespected by your baby mama, your ex-wife, whoever it is. Because I've changed a lot and I don't let people catch hands. But if you disrespect me, I don't know. I won't be responsible, because in my defense, I was a supervisor. I don't have no supervision. It's so funny. This is because I got to put this on my desk. Look, if I don't have
you know what, Kenya, but I think it goes back to what I said earlier in one of our earlier showings, that we got to make it about the best interest of the kids and take our feelings out of it.
Yep.
Yes.
We have mature males to be like, what is the best? Because I ain't gonna lie, I used to get really upset about having to go get child support reevaluated and stuff like that. Texas state law states that a person can do it. I laid down with a woman that I wasn't married with. First of all, we got to have accountability. You know what I'm saying? As individuals. And you would hope that a person be like, okay, he's doing what he's supposed to do. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to continue to do that. But everybody don't think that way.
Yeah.
I had to take my feelings out of it and realize that because of a conscious decision that you made, you could potentially have to deal with a certain situation for 18 years.
Yeah.
And I had to take my feeling out of it, and realize that, hey, you got a child here. She ain't violating no laws by doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because it is state law saying they have that right. And I just had to take my feeling out of it. So when you get mature males that say, hey, the kids want to, dude, he dating this new girl right now. She has your child's best interest. Come on, man. Just get out of your feelings. You should look at it as, dang, I got a break for the weekend. Where y'all going to somewhere for the weekend? Here, girl, he $80 for my kid. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If it was the man going with the other dude, I ain't just pointing women out. You know what I'm saying?
I personally haven't experienced a man being upset because another man is around.
Most men we get upset with. Men get upset with touching, when you touching the kid, especially like they little girl.
Yeah.
But most of the time, any real man gonna want to be like, hey man, I'm having a problem. Let me go talk to this kid's dad. Like with me, my son's mom has been remarried. You know, me mad, but I know I don't live in that household. And I know I've talked to him. I know he's a good dude. But sometimes, man, when you're dealing with these kids, especially these new era kids, it takes a village. You see what I'm saying? And now that they're together, I'm like, as long as he don't hurt my son, dude, do not have him up in here disrespecting his mom. I don't live here. So I don't really, believe it or not, even though I'm his biological father, I don't really have the command and control that you have.
Yeah.
As long as you're not trying to hurt my son, his behavior needs to be rectified on site. And believe it or not, even if you have to put him across your hip, as long as you don't hurt my child, I'm telling you, I don't have a problem with it. Some guys don't want nobody else touching their kid. I get it. But in the situation that I am, and I looked at, you know, Dwayne, he's a little bit older than me. He's more experienced at being a father than I am. So it's also about being humble and realizing that, hey, this man is more experienced than me.
Yeah.
As long as you giving me that color, like he even came to me and was like, yeah, I don't want to, you know, put my hand on him, but I understand how, you know, sometimes he was acting. And I told him, hey, man, I don't live there. And if my son is being disrespected, he will not disrespect his mom.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna lie, I gave him the green light, as long as he don't hurt my child.
Yeah. Jasmine, what do you think about your kid's father, wife, or something disciplining your children if that was something that arises?
Well,
Look how she said it.
I don't have a problem with discipline. I don't have a problem with discipline. Discipline is needed when it comes to children, first off. So I don't have a problem with that. I think that conversation, like Cam and his the mother of his child, her husband, had that conversation. I think those conversations need to be held. What is discipline to you? You know, how are you disciplined? Well, how do you discipline versus how I discipline? So conversations need to be had. I don't have a problem with discipline. My kids actually call their dad and stuff like that. So I think that, you know, if a man comes in and, you know, and I get into another relationship, I'm pretty sure the man ain't gonna want them to hit. I'm kind of opposed to hitting. I'm not really big on hitting anybody else's child or anything like that, even though that might be my bonus kid. But I need to talk to your mom. How do she discipline at home? You know, because if she whooping you, I might need to call her and tell her, hey, you need to come and get this belt. He over here. I'm not gonna let them run wild in the house. You know, you don't respect the house, but I don't necessarily see myself putting my hands like on someone else's child. You're not going to come in and just start pulling the belt out. That comes with relationship, patience, and good conversation. And like Cam said, maturity. You know, you can't just come in ready to lay down the law. You know, we got to have some conversation. And are you mature enough to even do that?
Most definitely. I don't know. I never dealt with that because I'm trying to think about if my kid's father ever had them around somebody. But see, my kids don't. See, they act the fool here in this house sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And I have to put my hands on. But they really don't act up in public. Like, they're not going to go to someone else's house and act the fool. You don't even have to do nothing. You ain't got to say nothing to them. Just call me because I'm coming, because you're not going to embarrass me on these streets. So I don't know of any situation where my kids have had to be disciplined at somebody else's house or residence, because you already know how to act once you get over there. But hey, you guys, relationship. I don't know. We've been kind of going this way for a couple of weeks now. We've been tiptoeing the
relationships are hot topics.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all. Can't be no hot topic now.
It's a hot topic because it's up in the air. No one has patience.
Yeah.
The communication skills have sucked. Yeah. People have put an expectation on people that they can't even obtain themselves. So, you know, relationships are going to forever be a hot topic, I think, until people start having some accountability. They learn how to open their mouth. They learn how to control their emotions. A lot of people make mistakes off of temporary feeling. You know, I'm angry right now, so let me just blow up. You know, a lot of people not thinking before they speak. And so some people can't even get to the relationship part.
Because
so in other words, Jazz, real quick, I'm sorry, Kenya.
No, go ahead,
other words, Jazz, you're trying to say, in order to have a relationship, you need consistency.
Of course.
Of course.
Across the board.
Of course. And if you consistently inconsistent, I commend you for being that way because I know I know I need to move along. You know what I'm saying? Like for real. I'm just gonna be straight up honest because if you're consistently inconsistent, and I see this, that should be a red flag or whatever we calling it nowadays for me to say this is how this person is. But Cam has said something about not being patient. You know what I'm saying? Like just wanting to just jump right into that relationship because what I see on the surface, what I see on the exterior, it looks real good. And for those who don't wait till they marry, it may feel real good, but then when you actually get in a relationship with that person, can they actually sustain that? Is it a representative or is it their true self?
I think that women. I'm gonna even talk black women. I'm gonna talk black women, black men. I think that's one of y'all major complaints with us as black men right now is that us not being consistent. You know what I'm saying? We coming out selling a dream and then not maintaining it. So only way I could fix that as a man, as myself, I had to look at myself internally and be like, okay, Cam, in your failed relationships, what has been the problem? And I have to call a spade a spade. It was the consistency. So I said, okay, Cam, you can't change the past, but how do you fix it? And I said, I can always have a mindset of that I'm always dating this woman because that's when I was giving this woman my best of who I was.
Yeah.
And the way that I maintain that is by continuing to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I think as men, man, we should always, this woman should always feel like she's being dated. You know what I'm saying? Because women, a lot of women, y'all are really like emotional and y'all do ask a lot of us. But as men, that's our duty. And that's what we should do because you guys sacrifice a lot.
Yeah. Were you gonna say something, Socrates?
Hey, I got to caveat what Cam said. It's our duty, you know what I'm saying? I would tell you in past relationship, you got to give that woman that attention. You know what I'm saying? We got to do what she asks for because she is emotional. If we can't keep up the consistency, she going to turn her eyes. She going to turn off to you. She going to step away. And then when she step away, here come the drama. But I also hold my women accountable too because remind him of what he did to get you. You know what I'm saying? Put that nice dress on and remind him, hey, you used to take me out when I look like this. Keep it fresh.
Yeah. Okay, so I will most definitely women. I ain't gonna say we.
Because y'all, but what I think also y'all know as men we're visual. You know what I'm saying? Now I understand, but also like I said, we also have to reiterate it to y'all as women too. I can't go out and expect you to compromise your body, have my babies. You done willing to sacrifice that nice little pretty frame you done had to give me one of man's greatest creations that God can give to a man. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I think as men, we shouldn't make women feel insecure because they done picked up a little weight. We should still reiterate that you're beautiful. You're sexy. I don't, and y'all don't take this the wrong way, but I have to add a little joke in there sometimes. Sometimes men, we got to say, hey, babe, I don't care if your stomach look like an oatmeal cake. I love it. Because the reason why I do like that is because you gave me the greatest thing that I could have. So you know what? Don't cover it up. You know what, baby? Wear your crop top. Because
no. You don't
hear me out. I'm giving you your point. Because what you did was you sacrificed that nice little waist you had to give me the greatest creation that a woman can give a man.
Well, I'm here to tell you, do not wear that crop top. And I'm not, and I shouldn't say this since I'm a fitness person, but I'm gonna say it. When we pick up weight, lose weight, whether we're thicker, smaller, we need to dress what is becoming to us. And just because Jazz could put on these tight bell-bottom jeans and her ass is looking fat, that don't necessarily mean skinny Jane over there is gonna look like Jazz. So for women, we need to look at ourselves and not look at what's going on social media and say, I want to look like this person right here. Because I know heavy women, when they step out, they clean. They look nice. They look presentable. But I know women that are athletic tone, athletic build, they step out and they look a mess, but they swear they clean. Because their ass is hanging out. They breasts popping all out. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to dress as women. We need to dress for the man that we're trying to get.
I agree with that.
You know what I'm saying? If
believe it or not, though, you say, because of believe it or not, when you dress, you get the man that you dressed according to. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
When you got cheeks hanging out and cleavage hanging out, of course, every man gonna look. But that man that is looking for that modest dressing woman, you will never be his wife.
But I will say that man is looking for the modest dressing woman will walk past her and go over there with the girl with her breast hanging.
Of course, I would tell you, Kenya, what you said, you are absolutely right. And that's what's wrong with our men today. I say we as men, we do look with our eyes and we think it's look good. But guess what though? Some old men, some of the mature men that sit back in the cut, we want that modern day lady that can look sexy, but it's cover up. You know what I'm saying? Give me something to work for. Make me come over there and be consistency. You know what I'm saying? That ain't worried about what social media is saying. She worried about what I'm saying, and I'm worried about what she's saying. Yeah. As they always say, is you out there courting, or you just out there for social media? You gotta court these ladies these days, right? You gotta know.
Yeah. Hey, let's jump into the topic. You know, look, I love y'all because we always, Authentic Ears, we just always keep it real, raw, and relevant. That's what it is. Follow us, click, like, subscribe. Hey, drop a comment because you are on a pre-recorded line with Authentic Ears today. But drop a comment. We're going to get back on there. We're going to answer your questions. If you want us to recap something, let us know. But our topic today, are roles in relationships really necessary? Hey, we picked this topic because Cam brought it up a couple weeks ago. Roles. So let's start up there. I don't know. Let's start up there. No, we're going to start with Socrates. What you think about roles in relationships?
Hey, roles. What role you want to play? You know what I'm saying? You're a mother, you're a father. So that's already a big role in a kid's life in the household as it is. But being a role in a relationship, you got to come in and be your role as that man or that woman and just know when, you know what I'm saying? Vibe with your person. I know Cam going to take it to another level because I have conversation with Cam about this before. So I'm going to say it before he said it. I hate to say this, but as men and women, you got to know your place in a relationship. So, once you know your place and you know your status, it's 100 all day long. So, yes.
What you mean know your place? We ain't talking about are you number one or number two now. What we talking about here?
When I say know your place, you know what I'm saying? They always say sometimes a man will lead and a woman follow. That's true. Sometimes a woman will lead and a man needs to follow. You got to know your partner. So if you out on a date and you know something don't seem right, step in for your man. Or if you know as a man, if you know something ain't seem right about your woman and she feeling some type of way, like Cam said, you got to iterate. She's beautiful. Let her know that you know your role, your place. You're there to support her, not everybody else.
Yeah. Cam, what do you think?
Don't.
Well, first of all, I think society to a certain extent has tried to make roles bad. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I feel like they try to make roles bad, because when we say the word role, society has twisted where an individual will say like you're beneath that individual because they do this and do that. But it's really not. It's just a team working together. And in that process of working together, I have identified tasks that I will take care of. And you have identified tasks that you will take care of. But my tasks benefit both me and you. And your tasks benefit both me and you. So you are not diminished. You are not beneath me in any way, shape, or form. We have individual tasks that work the best for us collectively. And that's why I do think, yes, you may not say it, but if you're in a relationship with somebody and they're doing this and you doing that, they are roles. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make one less than another or more than another. But as a man, I feel by me taking that title of head of the household, it's certain things that come with that title. Because that woman, I'm expecting her to submit to me, meaning there's a little bit more that I have to do in reference. So a lot of us like to say, and bills are a big thing, especially when you're dealing with Cameron Hines. You know what I'm saying?
Bills are a big thing.
Well, I won't say bills. I would just say finances. If that makes it better,
What you think about roles?
I think they're important. You got to have roles in your relationship. It's just like rules. Everybody be running wild if we ain't have no type of rules or. So roles are important in relationship. A lot of people divorce because of finances. That's one of the leading causes in divorce. So that's something that definitely needs to be discussed. I don't have a problem paying bills, but I think society has made it where, okay, as a man, this is what you have to do, and this is what I have to do as a woman, instead of just working together and figuring out what works well for the family. Yeah. A lot of people just, okay, well, I seen this, and why don't we do it this way? And well, he don't make that much money, baby. Yeah. You do that when you got with him. Yeah. So a lot of times we try to copy or do what somebody else is doing. That might not work for your house. So you have to have a role with the person that you're in a relationship with. What role am I going to take on? Okay, I'm the mother, but I know that he likes to cook and this and that. There's nothing wrong with that. I wasn't the cooker in my marriage when I was married. My ex-husband was at home cooking.
Yeah. So Forrest, and the biggest thing is social media plays a big part in.
Thank you.
In the way people think their role should be. Mm-hmm. Social media plays a really big part in that. And I'm not a big social media person. I don't look at reality TV, and I know I done said that before on here, but it plays a big part because we look at TV and we see what the Kardashians doing, and then we want to go keep up with the Kardashians. That's just the name of a show. It's no reason for us to want to keep up with anybody else. But in a relationship, finances and Jazz, you mentioned that your ex-husband was at home cooking, but that is the task, or that's what y'all decided on. But I have seen where people look down on that and say, well, you should be at home cooking for him. Hell, maybe she's not the cook in that relationship, in that family right then and there. So I think we got to get away from social media, you guys. Without doing that, we in a sad situation. We in a sad.
We got to keep people out of our relationships. That's
to sum it up for what both of y'all said, though. If we worry about our own households and it works for us, what outside entities have to say would never matter. Girl, I don't. Girl, he doing the cooking. Girl, you should be doing it. That should get no energy with you because we know what's going on in this household and it works for us. But we get caught up with worrying about what another person think and trying to appease, and then that's where we go wrong because now. Something that was already working that y'all already had agreed upon. Now he or she that got in their head, well, dang, well, such and such and said this. You ain't in a relationship with such and such. So and this works.
Society has changed that because when we was growing up and all of us are kind of around the same age, Cam, you a little older than us, but you look young. You still got it, bro. Yeah. I see you. Look, do you think when we were growing up and the older people that I was around that were married and were married 30, 40 years, the woman was the primary cook in the house. The man was the primary breadwinner. As things changed over the years, she may have got out and went and did a little work, but the woman was the primary cook. So do you think a lot of times we're stuck back in the 1950s and 60s, and some people haven't transitioned to society has changed. So women may be leading in finances and the breadwinner of the house. You laughing, Socrates? What's up?
Hey, I feel what you're saying, and yes, the society has changed. I'm a living witness. I watched my father be the breadwinner, worked every day, and my mom was at home. But my father was a better cook than my mom. And then I watched my father retire, and then I watched my mom go get it. And then my father took care of the household. So, and now me being retired after 21 years, I love to cook. I don't give a damn if she can cook or not. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna tell you right now.
We know. Can I get some meatballs? Put them on dry ice.
Cook us up. Cook us up something.
It be fried too, man.
So listen,
Socrates could cook y'all in real life.
But I really feel that, like you said, the roles are important, finances are important, and I do. When Jazz said that's a problem with marriages today is because of social media. That's the issue. They don't court. They don't know how to have a good time, and they allow people to get in their head. You ain't Gucci. We can't live like Gucci and Keisha. That ain't your lifestyle. Live within your budget, because once you start living outside your budget, you causing chaos. And then on top of that, the grass ain't always green on the other side. So when you jump ship, you gotta know when you leave.
And when it is greener, you know what it's fertilized with.
Hey, exactly. So when you see the person that had you in a
what
nice
is fertilized with, Cam? Some bullshit.
I don't like to use that terminology, but you know what they say. The grass ain't always green on the other side, but when it is, it's usually fertilized with
bullshit.
That's another thing. People don't never want to. I think when you're married, people forget that people grow. People change, things change. So then the topic of roles might come back up again.
Yeah.
So because if we're in a marriage, I'm growing. You know, and sometimes I might be growing left, you might be growing right, but how do we get back on that path? You know, individuality, we got to have that in a relationship. Though I think a lot of people lack communication and comprehension skills. Like I heard what you said, but you know, people aren't comprehending what their mate is saying to them, what they're telling them, their needs and their wants, you know. And then you working, he the breadwinner, jobs aren't guaranteed. People losing jobs left and right, you know. Am I able to keep up? Yeah. So it's a lot that people need to talk about in relationships that they skip over because he's sexy, she's sexy, and you know, he got a nice watch and a nice car.
Yeah.
But you know, relationships, Jazz, are never really tested until there's turmoil. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm sitting there and I'm making six figures and she's doing good and life is good, it's easy to be like, to go to sleep at night and not have no worries. But when the funds is low and somebody done got laid off and the kids need this and stuff like that, that's the true test to be like, are we finna start attacking one another where we would have more money if you didn't do so much spending? Yeah. Or do we bond and say, you know what, we a team in this. If both of us have to go down there and I have to go to Burger King at this time to this time, and you got to go to McDonald's at this time, then when you come back, I'm going to hit Taco Bell because we got to do what we got to do for our family to make sure and we ain't worried about what they say in the streets. You know, true testing relationships don't come out. And it's sad that it got to be that way because I don't feel like that's God's design, but because of the way of man, you know, I'm just saying the way of man. That's why it's like that. But you don't really know who you have until there's turmoil.
So let me ask both of y'all this, Jazz and Cam. So y'all, Cam, you hit on turmoil, and Jasmine, you hit on, hey, we are going in. People grow, they evolve. Do y'all think that we get in a relationship? It's a solid relationship. You know, we've been together 4 or 5 years. When one person starts growing and they're going this way, do you think that's a breakdown in a relationship when one person's going left and one person's going right, and nobody wants to compromise? Nobody wants to compromise to say, okay, let me go this way with you. Do you think that that's a breakdown? Because then that's when turmoil comes. Say the woman is normally at home, and we're just using women because that's typically how it is. And she say, hey, I want to go back to work, or I want to go back to school. Boom, she go back to school. She get a degree. She starts making money. She starts working. And then now she wants her career to take off. And then and he's like, no, I want you to go back home. So do you think that's where the turmoil come in at? do you think is that truly your soulmate, or was that person in your life for a reason or season?
It could be both. I think you can definitely come back from that. Like I said, you got to revisit them roles. Hey, babe, I'm going back to school. Some things might change. A lot of people don't support their mate. I just want you at the house taking care of the kids, And if that's what he started off doing, it's just like me getting with a man. He's saying he wants 2 kids, and I know I don't want no kids. And he coming, we bumping heads now. But I knew at the beginning this is what he wanted. So if you say, hey, I want 3 years of you at the house, and then 3 years you say I want to go to school and do this and that, the conversation's got to be revisited because things change, people change, things change, and it just happens. Can you come back from it? I do believe that you can come back from it. You don't have to be with your soulmate. I truly believe that. You might be my soulmate. We're sisters, but you truly might be my soulmate. I think people just soulmate. So we're in love and we're supposed to be together. No, that's just a connection with your soul.
Someone that is
great friendship. We love each other. I respect you. That's what I truly believe a soulmate is. Now, if you can come back, that's great. But some people, like you said, are truly meant for a season. And a lot of times we try to blame people. Well, now that I'm divorced from him, I'm going back to school and I'm doing this and that. Sometimes you're the only one that's holding yourself back, though.
So you shaking your head.
That's not always the case. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you were the one holding yourself back because you didn't revisit that conversation with your spouse. He could have supported you and said, okay, I want you to go back to school. This is what you wanted to do. But now that the divorce is here, it's easy to put the blame on somebody. I didn't go to school because I was married. I was at home being a wife.
But Jazz, closed mouths don't get fed. You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's all the way around. If you want to go back to school, hey, sit down, let's talk about it. And you're right, Jazz. Nobody don't talk about it all the time. Ken, you said one going left, one going right. Is it over? No, it's not. Jazz just said you got to come back to that role. First and foremost, I should have been your friend first. So when you start talking about going left, I need to get off that right side and go left with you and see where you going. But now if you telling me I can't go left with you, well, there's the door, because it's no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not finna stay here. You know what I'm talking about? I've been down that road before. Hey, Cam, I tell y'all, the group, I want to take a moment to just say, y'all, when y'all put this together, I started smiling from ear to ear. 3 different personalities with one great mind. Cam, hey man, I know it's a hard time putting up with them 2 ladies. You know what I'm saying?
What?
No, hey, real talk though. Real talk. Hey, I've been around LaKenya. I met Jazz in El Paso. She came through. Hey.
And what made it so bad, I met you in El Paso.
We just gonna call this the El Paso hub right here. You know,
it is.
You gotta click up with each other in El Paso if y'all ever been down there before. But thank you very much, Socrates. Like, we most definitely wanna, keep on just bringing nothing but fire as always.
But I think we still got some also that we got to focus on too before we get out of here.
Look, I want to know. He said, what did you say, Joseph? You said when it's done, it's over. Ain't no more. What you say?
I said, you got to hit that dough. You know what I'm saying? And I can't only go right.
I got to remember that because I might need to put that on my shirt whenever.
Hey, Joe, it's like this one dude told me. He said, the only way I trip over a woman again is if she on the floor. Because there's 2 things I ain't never seen. A turtle with speed and a woman I need.
Okay, so are y'all
saying,
are you saying you don't need a woman, but you desire one?
No, I know I desire one, but when it comes down to it that, if you're not willing to compromise with me, listen to the saying again. The only way I'll ever trip over a woman again is if she on the floor. Because it's 2 things I ain't never seen. A turtle with speed and a woman I need. Keyword need. Need and want is 2 different things. I do want a woman in my life. I do want a life partner. But God has designed it that way. But if you're not the right one for me,
I don't need you, baby. Peace.
Hey, that's one thing about it. Hey, I give Cam that one. You know what I'm saying? I always say you don't know what you just don't know. I'm a person. I'll be honest. I just celebrated my birthday last month. And I'm going to tell you, everybody kept asking me, hey, what you doing this year? Me? Because guess what? I don't need everybody to have a good time because I'm going to do what I want to do. And that goes on in a relationship. Like you said, the roles, like we talking about today, you only going to do what you want to do in a relationship regardless. Nobody can make you do it or not do it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to listen to social media, go ahead. Because social media ain't going to pay no bills. It ain't going to keep you in the fine clothes, designer bag, all that stuff. Social media is just there to the distraction. Yeah. And I listen to y'all say Jazz been fasting from it. Now you back on it. I'm going to tell y'all, this crazy, right? I've been on social media for 3 years. I don't think I just got his
You
IG.
Straight disappeared. I'm like, where is my brother at? Let me call his phone.
Listen, no Facebook, no nothing. You're right, Ken. You had to check me down by my phone. It's a lot of people out here right now. They gonna see this and they gonna be like, dang, how y'all tracking down? They ain't got my phone number. They ain't got my email. None of that. Yeah. Because guess what I learned as I mature and I got older? I don't need social media. That's why I'm back out here courting. I'm enjoying life. I'm having fun. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, are you courting or are you cold?
No, I'm courting, baby. I'm courting.
Oh, so you got a you in yours, right?
Hey, you gotta go back. You gotta go back, open up doors. You know what I'm saying? Pulling out chairs. You know, you gotta get her attention. Because you don't want to do none of that. She gone.
Look, so he said that he courting. I'm gonna ask you a question a little bit, but I 100% agree with what you're saying, Cam. Because number one, I don't even want to talk to no guy that, and I ain't finna be tripping over you. I ain't finna be arguing with you. And the only thing you own that you got to your name is a Facebook account. You know what I'm saying? if you ain't bringing something to the table, then it's nothing that I can do. This ain't the Build a Bear workshop. This ain't the Build a Man workshop. Like, it's not going down that way. And we talked about compromising standards before. We talked about a whole bunch of different things. And I will say I have compromised standards in the past because you assume that person is this way because you may have visited the roles and responsibilities in your relationship, but then it goes haywire. But I think in my situation, I only could speak for myself, and Cam hit it, is not being patient. You know what I'm saying? Not taking that time to truly get to know that person to see, is this who you really are? So people that know me, I use the word representative a lot because I ran into a lot of representatives over my time. You know what I'm saying? That I think you want what, you know when your representative present. Y'all know, Socrates, you know.
I know.
You know when we got up in the morning and we went to PT and you was real cold out front because you was the first sergeant and you had got to tell everybody to dress down. You know what I'm saying? And you up there like you ain't cold. That's your representative right there.
Yeah. And you know, I was a chief, so I'm looking at him like.
So chief ain't even there. You know what I'm saying? We trying to figure out why he. We try to figure out why he ain't at PT. We got Jazz.
I had to be in the motor pool at 05.
No, you wasn't there either.
I was at home in the bed. I don't know.
Jazz
see what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about? Hey, Jazz, that person. Hey, Jazz, that person will give you a call like, I don't even know what that feel like.
I don't.
We know a little bit because I used to be calling her early in the morning sometimes. Yeah. I know she used to be like, what in the world? I am not in the United States Army. Those are your representatives because I tell people who I was there, and it wasn't much so a representative. I was just playing a role at that time to, you know what I'm saying, to benefit myself. You know what I'm saying? Met some great people along the way. You know what I'm saying? Developed a lot of different skills, a lot of different relationship skills, because when we talk about roles and relationships, we're talking about friendships as well. And Jasmine hit it on the head when she said about soulmate. And I never thought about it like that. Like, hey, this girl, she may be my soulmate, because when we look at soulmates, we always looking at intimate sexual relationships with someone. You know what I'm saying? But we most definitely have to take that out a lot of time because we want to look at who we could sleep with, who I ain't gonna even say baby leg because Cam gonna
he gonna show out.
That body count. Hey, they trying to get that body count up, Cam.
Oh,
you know,
Lord.
Socrates, look, don't get Cam started. We are gonna get Cam started because Cam, is it no cap? Are we capping today? No cap? What we doing?
Hey, like I said, you know what? Today, as a matter of fact, I got a little clip it for y'all. And Socrates, you're gonna like this because today we're gonna touch child support.
What?
Are you listening? Damn.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
States make money off of child support. There's something called Title 4D, where let's say you go to court, dad is ordered to pay child support for mom. The state makes money off of this dad paying child support. The federal government reimburses the states, right, for collecting child support and dispersing it out. So you think, wait a minute, so if we had 50-50 custody, if we had kids are with mom half the time, with dad half the time, which by the way, research shows is the absolute best for kids, what happens with child support? It's greatly reduced or there's none. The more child support the state can reel in, the more the federal government pays the states. It's a business, you guys. You think and then of course we've got the feminazis out there saying, these deadbeat dads, these poor moms. No, number one, these poor moms fought against a dad trying to get equal custody. All we want to talk about is dads who they're not deadbeat, they're dead broke.
So when we're talking about child support, when you look at it, who does it really truly benefit? So when we take in the child support, if the guy is not taking care of his kid, and I know the woman didn't not had his child on her own, then you know what? You got to do what you got to do. But when you have a man out there that's doing everything that he's supposed to do, he's paying child support, he's in his kid's life, don't drag him through the muck over it, because I'm telling you, child support was designed, and they make it portray it as it's in the best interest of the child. But let me tell you, it's really not in the best interest of the child. It's a big business, because that before that child support is delivered, the state is getting a cut, and the government has designed it where the state benefits. So it's big business for child support. It's not the best interest of the child. So I champion men and women. Let's get out of our feelings and be about the best interest of the child. Like I said, women, if you have a man that's not doing what he's supposed to do, then I get it. But when that man is paying his child support, he's a great father. Don't drag him through the muck going to child support court, because it's not about the best interest of the child. It's about big business. And that's no cap. Let's go.
No cap.
Hey, that's no cap. Real talk. That's real talk, big dog. Hey.
Look. You have to drink some water on that. You should have had you some tea, Cam.
Listen, hey, Cam, man, you're right. It's about business. That's business. That ain't about no child. You got a father, you got a father in your kid's life, and women, they take advantage of that because they ain't spending the money on the kids. They steady calling. That it ain't about the kids. Then you take them to the courthouse, and you telling them they deadbeat father. But if he wasn't a deadbeat father when you lay down with him, you want a deadbeat father when you call him 2-3 o'clock in the morning, talking about you need a G by Friday because he got soccer practice. But in actuality, he ain't got no soccer practice. The kid don't even know what the money for.
Oh, look, Jazz, hold it.
Somebody hurt.
Jazz,
somebody's hurt today. What?
We're going to talk about this, and we're going to have a whole episode about it.
Yeah, that's why I just touched about it. I really didn't want to. We do need to have a whole episode about it, but I just wanted to touch it from a perspective. I understand there's a lot of variables up under it. You got dudes that's just like leaving these women hanging and stuff like that. And those are not the ones I'm talking about, because I do understand, but it is child support is a business, especially but like I said, men need to be accountable. Women did not have these kids on their own. And if he out there and you out there doing this and you doing that, he ain't what you do, I understand you got to give. But really look at the big picture. The court sells it as we thinking about the best. If they tell you best interest of the child, no, it's best interest of the state. because that's a revenue stream. So I want y'all ladies to know that when you in your feelings because of this man. Now, if he ain't doing what he's supposed to do, then you know what? He needs to be accountable and hold him to the fire.
Look, we gotta
have whole.
We're gonna get ready to end this. As y'all know, this is Authentic Ears. You're on a pre-recorded line today, but we're gonna hit child support. We're gonna end it there. We're gonna hit child support because Jasmine and her expressions. She got something to say.
Yo, it was good hanging out with you today, baby.
For sure, man. Anytime.
But, hey, you guys, like, subscribe, follow us on IG. Everybody IG will be at the bottom of the link. Hey, tomorrow we're airing today, but tomorrow TMI is gonna be on. He brings us something hot as always. And I want to give a special shout out to our producer.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. She is phenomenal, you guys. So if you if y'all want a podcast, y'all trying to do like we doing, hit up the Bold and Driven Entertainment Production. As always, it's Authentic Ears. We coming to you from a pre-recorded line, but we will be back live next week. So hey, holla at us.
Peace.
Bye.
Real raw, real event, that's just it, yeah. I've been by 30 days since I was legit. Real raw, real event, that's just it, yeah. I've been by 30 days since I was legit. Real raw, real event, that's just it, yeah. I've been by 30 days since I was legit. Real raw, real event, that's just it, yeah. I've been by 30 days since I was legit. Represent, that's legit. Ask your mama about it. Coldest story ever told. When the storm hit my home, I was out there on the road. I ain't had nowhere to go. They used to turn their nose, and man, they done.